Alright, so before this video starts, I did want to say, I woke up, I did want to give a disclaimer, I woke up at 6 today, as I'm recording this, Tuesday. A couple of things, I do mention at the top of my head that, I want to have, that on Saturday, I would have to start a different schedule. Turns out it's Sunday, because I completely forgot about a video I made, so yeah. As you guys can read by the title, this is why a certain Fallout 4 faction is terrible. The reason I say that is because I'm going to be using this intro for all 4 of the different factions. I do want to say, by the time I'm recording this, I woke up at 6, and I'm super tired. And whenever I get super tired, I become an asshole, I don't think straight, and mostly I become a blabbermouth. So, a bit of a disclaimer, I do talk a lot in this video. Something that could have easily been a 5-minute video or a 10-minute video turned out to be a 30-minute video, so you guys have to excuse me for that. So with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. I'm so sorry if I annoy you with how much I'm talking or whatnot. Again, apologies, I'm super tired. So yeah, as I'm recording this video, I've already made a why the Minutemen is terrible faction, or why the Minutemen is a terrible faction, or what makes the Minutemen the worst faction, or whatever, or the negatives of the Minutemen, whatever. So as I'm recording this, I plan on doing a why the Brotherhood of Steel, or the negatives and positives about the Brotherhood of Steel, which means I won't be able to think of any. But I do want to say, this intro will be used for all 4, for the 4 different factions, excluding the Institute, because I have an amazing idea for that one. So yeah, with that being said, apologies ahead of time. But yeah, sit down, relax, do whatever. It's a 30-minute video. Again, something that could have easily taken 5 to 10 minutes to talk about it, and ended up being 30 minutes because I do not know when to shut the fuck up when I'm tired. So, and I think it's because I think the reason I'm blabbermouth so much is because I'm trying to stay awake whenever I'm tired, so, and I don't want to fall asleep in the middle of a video, just be like, you know. So, with that being said, apologies ahead of time. This is the only time I'm ever going to apologize after that tough break. Tough luck. Go fuck yourself, whatever. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like down below. Comment whatever the fuck you want. If there's anything I missed in this video, make sure to let me know, because I would definitely be sure to make another one. Or maybe an update if that's something you guys want. Also, do check out my railroad video, because there's a comment there, and I would pin it, but that's the only one I have, so if you go to that video, you'll be able to find it. So, but I will give the credit, I will give the recognition where it's due. The commenter named Terrible Reporter, which is very specific considering it's a Fallout 4 video. Yeah, I talked about that. I already made that joke. Damn it. So yeah, shout out to that commenter. I do say commenter because I don't want to make assumptions. So yeah, shout out to that person. If there's something I missed based off this person's comment, I'm deeply, I feel deeply horrible then, because I'm sensitive. I'm emotionally sensitive, so yeah. Excuse the mask. I'm trying to break this thing in, trying to find a good position for this mask, because I'm a mouth breather and I wear glasses, and as I'm currently talking, my glasses keep getting foggier and foggier, and so by the time, if I keep constantly talking, you guys will see my glasses fog up. That is because of the fact that I don't like wearing masks. That's why I'm not an anti-masker, because I'm not a fucking idiot. But I just hate wearing masks because of the fact that my glasses constantly fog up. This has nothing to do with the fact that, I'm making a Fallout 4 video, and the fact that I went from feeling bad about a commentary to the fact that I'm constantly talking about masks is because I want my glasses to fog up constantly. So that way I have something interesting to talk about. Anyways, with that being said, God, how did I rapidly succeed that? With that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get on to why this faction is terrible. I almost said Minutemen, but I'm gonna be talking about. I'm going to be using this intro for 3 of the 4 factions because I have an idea for the Institute. Anyways, let's get on to the video. Alright, what is up guys? Minutemen here, and today some of you guys may be wondering a couple of things. One, why am I wearing a mask? Because I do a lot of facial emotions, so I thought maybe I could just cover it up with this smile. Plus, I'm also very fucking tired, and with how foggy my glasses get for some fucking reason, I'm hoping it could hide how tired I am. I woke up at 6 this morning. I usually wake up around 9 or 10. So I thought, why not? So with that being said, I usually go to bed around 2 a.m. But I decided I got so tired. Let me adjust this. So yeah, I thought we were going to bed early because I don't know, something's kicking in right now. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's anxiety from Washington, or I'm coming off some withdrawal. I don't know. That's the withdrawal part's a joke, unless there's something I don't know about. Then in which case, shit. So if my glasses get foggy every now and then, I'm sorry. I hate wearing glasses, but plus this is a new mask. I decided to break this one in. Get used to it. Although, or not telling you guys get used to it, that I should get used to it. So today, in fashion and going by my rule, I feel like I think it's finally time we talk about a part of a 4-part series. What makes a faction terrible? Now, if you guys remember from one of my previous episodes, Fallout 4 related, close to I'm talking about the Nuclear Raider gangs, but one of my later episodes, I talked about how the Institute is a terrible faction, and that the Railroad is a good faction. And personally, I will make the Institute version again, mostly because of the fact that I talked about the Brotherhood of Steel as well as the Institute. But that was supposed to be in a video of like, what's the worst faction ever. So today, I thought I'd talk about the negatives of each faction, talk about what makes them terrible. Yes, even the Railroad, because I do believe that with some good, there are some bad. So let's start with, I want to save the Railroad for last because it's pretty obvious, and I want to save the best faction for last. So I thought I'd go in order, plus I think we'll go in order based off how I first beat the game with the 4 different factions. So the first episode is going to be the Minutemen, then the second episode, Brotherhood of Steel. Third episode is going to be the Institute, and then the 4th episode is, we're going to finish it off with the Railroad. And who knows, maybe we can talk about the best Raider faction and the best Far Harbor faction. Now this is purely my opinion, but if you guys do check, there's a comment in one of my in the why the Railroad is the best faction. First of all, I should have specified that it is my opinion. Luckily I didn't get anyone attacking me for it, but an amazing commenter by the name of Terrible Reporter, which I find very hilarious that name shows up in my Fallout 4 video, because, well, Piper's a reporter, so I was like, that's kind of funny. No, it wasn't intentional, I'm assuming, but it was just funny. I feel like it was more of a coincidence more than anything. But he or she, after an amazing comment talking about the morally good factions, or not morally good, but like good kind of depends on your preference. To me, I consider a good faction someone who's morally good. Because yes, good can mean like long term, but I consider moralities, because at least they'll make a good mark on something like the Minutemen. Anytime you try and get a new settlement on board, they always talk about the fact that they need the Minutemen back. That is why I consider the Minutemen to be the best faction. That's why I would consider the Minutemen to be the best faction, because they leave a lasting impression. Now, some people do think that it is a long-term idea. Hopefully you guys can hear me well. It really isn't that thick, but I mean... So hopefully you guys can hear me well. I can hear myself perfectly fine. It's almost as if I could still talk. I could still talk with this off, and then boom, still have it. But I wanted to break this in some more, so yeah. So yeah, keep that in mind as I go through. This is going to be a technical video, so if this is a terrible video, I don't blame you. This is why I don't do technical stuff. But I thought, you know what? Let's get this over with. So let's go over why the Minutemen is the worst faction. Now, again, from my perspective, I consider them a good faction. They're good for the Commonwealth. They help others. They do what they're needed, just like I consider the Railroad the best faction. They do help people who desperately need it, even if it is just sins. But they still need it because they are hated everywhere. Well, I won't say everywhere because not everyone knows of synths, like in the Mojave and whatnot. You don't really know much about synths in the Mojave. You just know about them. You don't even know about them at all. You just whatever. So yeah, why the Minutemen is the worst faction. And yes, I am wearing a jacket. It's cold in here. And I could close the window, but hey, who doesn't like the room cold? So personally, and I will be referencing this comment a lot, so please, if you guys do want to go check out that comment, head over to my Railroad thing. You don't have to watch it. Just head over to that video to check out the comment, because he goes into more detail than I do, because he put some thought into this, and I just read the comment. So I will say the one thing that makes the Minutemen a terrible faction is they don't last long. And the reason, and what I mean by that is the fact that whenever you first meet Preston, that's all the Minutemen. It is Marcy and June Long and Mama Murphy and Sturgis and Preston, but that's it. That's all it is. Alright? And plus, whenever the Minutemen gets back together, it's no thanks to the General and Preston. But so without those two, yeah, the General could get killed and find a better replacement, but no one can make a bigger impact as the General or the sole survivor. Actually, I should have just said the sole survivor. The General could just been anyone. It could have been Preston, the man over the Radio Freedom. It could have even been Ronnie Shaw, or hell, it could have even been one of your companions. Mostly either Cosworth, Nick, or Piper. Whatever. you guys get the point. So, but I feel like it's no thanks to the General that they last long. But what if the General dies? There's no one who could replace. I mostly put, so I'm gonna use her as the General, because my Minutemen character has always been a female, and it will continue to stay that way just because of a rule I have. So if I refer to the General as a her, that's from my view. So you're gonna, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with it. All right. So yeah. So with the General, fuck it. I can't deal with this fucking mask. I hate it. I'm a mouth breather. My glasses fog up. I can't fucking deal with it. I cannot wait for this pandemic to be fucking over. So, but if the General dies, there's no one to replace her. So and yes, you could easily be like, we need a new General, and it could have easily been Preston or Ronnie, because they know what they're doing. They've been with the Minutemen. Plus, not to mention what happened in Quincy. For some of you guys who don't remember, the Gunners took over Quincy. Preston's group was the only one to show up. Clint was the Minutemen, not just the other person. So Clint decided to betray the Minutemen and go with the Gunners for whatever reason. Which, by the way, the good intentions that you find by Clint is a reference to the fact that the path to hell is paved with good intentions or something. So it's kind of a good thing, and it's kind of funny because in fact that's what happens with Clint. He had good intentions, and then he went on the path of failure and evil. So That's not the exact words, but it's kind of funny considering. Oof, sorry. So with that, I feel as if, in the fact that the Minutemen are only limited to the castle. If the castle falls, so does the Minutemen. That's their home base. Hence, and it's very noticeable whenever you attack the castle, the fact that it's filled with Mirelurks and it's broken and whatnot. So not only that, but this is starting to make no sense, but you guys get the point. But yeah, without the main hub, there's no communications. And without communications, the Minutemen's just gonna fall to pieces. But I will say with this video, I will talk about some good in there. The Institute may be a bit more difficult, but we'll figure it out. Now, I didn't want to get all the negative stuff out the way before I talk about the positives, because there are some positives. And that's what I feel like is what makes a good argument. If you can talk about, like, yes, this happens, but here's the thing. So, but it's the fact that the general always leads. Granted, some people may not be happy with how the people treat the general, in the sense that you are the general, you should get more recognition, but that's not how this works. You're the general, you help people, you get the recognition you deserve. Other Minutemen should get the recognition they deserve, because that's what they need. They deserve the recognition for helping others. You're not the only person that's helping others. You deserve, well, yes, you deserve some of the recognition for being the general. You don't deserve all of the recognition. You weren't around when the Minutemen was there. Preston was. Or you weren't around when the Minutemen formed. Preston wasn't either, because that's like 2106 or whatever. And unless Preston's been frozen in Vault 111 for about a couple, like maybe 100 or so years, I doubt such a thing will happen. But considering, or yeah, close to 200 years, because it's 2286, he's maybe his late 20s, early 30s. I don't know. Which, I never really know the age of them. I feel like age of companions is important, because in some cases, in this case, like Preston, Dance, Deacon, X6, well, okay, maybe X6 and Dance don't count because they're both sins. But people like Deacon and Preston show up because it can kind of give an idea as to why they joined the group, when, and, well, okay, not why, but how long it's been since they've been with the group, so you can be like, oh, they've been around since they were 10 or whatever. But I guess Preston and Deacon's case, it counts. But, so yeah, I hate this town so much. But yeah, and plus they're very weak in the sense that the terrible reporter did mention that they are more of a militia group than military group. And to that, I will say, well, I have no choice to say yeah, because it's kind of obvious. But in a sense that, like, with militias, they don't last very long. Take the little militia in Good Springs. That's just a one-time deal. If they were to both die, if all of Good Springs were to die, who's to say, or if all of Good Springs were to die, whether, mostly if you start with the Powder Gangers get all of the, or get the entirety of Good Springs. What if someone like the Brotherhood of Steel or the Institute were to massacre all of the Minutemen? Who takes the castle? That would be either the Brotherhood of Steel or the Institute, or the Railroad if they're feeling, what's the word I'm looking for, out of it. Because the Railroad is the morally nice group. So, and it's just like the thing with, and to me the castle is more like mass fusion, or the mass fusion building, in a sense of, like, depending on who you side with. If you side with the Brotherhood, they keep mass fusion. If you side with the Institute or the Railroad, the Institute keeps the mass fusion. Granted, the Institute, if you side with the Railroad, the Institute would be hostile towards you. So, But you get the point. What's to say the Brotherhood of Steel or the Institute would be the same way? It's basically the same way as to why the Brotherhood of Steel is kind of the bad thing about the Brotherhood of Steel. It's the fact that their main hub is the Pridwin. That's what they go for whenever, if you side with the Institute, Railroad, or the Minutemen, they attack the Pridwin. Same thing happens if you side with the Brotherhood of Steel. Well, okay, not if you side with the Brotherhood of Steel, but if you side with the Minutemen and attack the Brotherhood of Steel and the Institute, they attack the castle. So I always feel like a main hub is the source of the weakness. In this case, the Minutemen's weakness is the castle. Railroad's weakness is, well, Old North Church, because that's all they have. The Pridwin, Brotherhood of Steel, and then obviously under CIT with the Institute, because that's all of the attacks. But you guys get the point. So, and yes. And it's not to say that they're a terrible faction because they have a main hub. Every area has a main hub. Mr. House has the Lucky 38. Well, okay, the NCR mainly has the Hoover Dam and the embassy up in the Strip, but I want to know which one is the main hub. I would personally say, okay, Camp McCarran is the main hub, but you don't do anything to Camp McCarran, so. And the Caesar's Legion is the fort, and well, Yes Man is the Lucky 38, or fuck, what is it? What the Benny works at the Tops. The Tops or the Lucky 38 is Yes Man's. But I do feel like it's not. I will say the one credit that the Institute, the Brotherhood of Steel, and even the Railroad have over the Minutemen is a well fortified base. Yes, you can fix it up later, but at the beginning, if you don't like doing settlement building, then well, you don't have a good defense, and that's how you get protected. This went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm trying to fill up some time because I don't want it to be like a 5-minute video about why the Minutemen is a terrible thing, and it's just going to be something that you could read off of a comment. Not to say that comment is bad. I am digging myself a hole. Let's move on. So, but I feel like the problem with that is they're expanding to just settlers. I feel like to make a good faction, you need to extend more than just the settlers. Like NCR, for example, they have a motto of rebuilding civilization like it was pre-war, which I'm not going to give my thoughts on that because I know nothing about government. In fact, with this whole election came up, I knew jack shit about what happened. So I'm not going to be talking about why the NCR is the worst faction or the best faction or whatever. But like, and I will say that's also the same with the Railroad. They have one main goal, which is protect synths. But I feel like with the Brotherhood of Steel and the Institute, they have more than one goal, which is better humanity and replace those when they need to. Or with the Institute. And then it's make people respect the Brotherhood and take over the Commonwealth and destroy the Institute. Although I feel like most of the main group is, I will say the 4 factions' main goal is to destroy the Institute. What happens if the Institute is destroyed? What happens then? The Railroad goes back to freeing synths. That's not going to last them long. The Minutemen is going to protect settlers. That may last them, but again, not as long as the Railroad would. And the Brotherhood of Steel, well, what do they have? Nothing. Their point there is useless. But this isn't about the Brotherhood of Steel or the Railroad. This is about the Minutemen. So yeah, I will say overall, what makes them a bad faction is the fact that they cannot sustain themselves long after, say, the Institute's destroyed, or the General dies, or Preston, or Ronnie Shaw, or whoever. Yeah, okay, maybe in the sense of, like, if Preston dies, then the Minutemen can't continue because the General's still alive. But what's to say, who's gonna, let's say, okay, Preston dies during the fight for the Institute, alright? You blow up the Institute, taking Preston, Father, and everyone with it, alright? What's this, and let's say, at that point, you have reached level 30 whenever you blow up the Institute. What's to stop the general from being corrupted by raiders, the nuclear world raiders? Yes, maybe her good intentions. Again, her, because that's how I played the Minutemen general. I play it as a female. So, by the way, if that bothers you guys, I'm calling the general a female or a her. I'm absolutely sorry, but I'm just used to my general being a female. So, you're gonna have to stick with me for a time. So, but what's to stop her from being corrupted by the raiders? Yes, maybe her good intentions, but that's not gonna last long. Again, good intentions don't last long. It happened with Clint. What's to say it won't happen to the sole survivor? And that's the thing I feel like that is overlooked. Is the fact that, yes, just because you're the general of the Minutemen doesn't mean you won't be corrupted to gunners or the nuclear world raiders, because that shit happens. Look at Clint. He was a Minuteman, and then something happened, and he gave in, and now he's a part of the gunners. So I will say that if you don't have a good motive, like the Brotherhood of Steel, where Max just says you'll fall in line eventually, which is something I'll talk about in the next episode, then you're not gonna get anywhere. You're supposed to fall in line with whoever. That's it. You fall in line with the railroad. You may not believe in their intentions, but you still fall in line either way. Your goal is to help Sense, and that's what you do. You destroy the Institute, helping Sense. The Brotherhood of Steel is to destroy all Sense, super mutants, and feral ghouls, or just ghouls as a whole, as opposed to ferals, because that would just be a lot better, but it's the Brotherhood of Steel. We can't do good. And then the Institute is just, well, Sense are slaves. So, but yeah, I will give the Minutemen the credit that they deserve. They aren't isn't involved with just Sense. Well, not the Brotherhood of Steel either, but it doesn't revolve around Sense. It's revolving around people. People are the number one thing that keeps people together. Now, I'm going to be talking about the positive side, because I believe that if you make a negative video, you have to talk about the positives. That's what people do. You talk about the good things of a bad faction. Why is Caesar's Legion good? Because they believe that technology is what drove people to the brink of extinction, like the bombs falling. That was because of technology. Old world Roman believed that technology is bad, I think. Granted, very harsh ways of proving, or Caesar Legion does have very harsh methods, but the idea that Caesar has that technology is bad is a good thing to think about. But keep in mind all of the terrible shit that Caesar's Legion does. Does that make sense? Alright, so now that we're talking about the negatives, let's talk about the positives. First of all, settlements. That is something that comes in very handy with the Minutemen. The fact that you can create settlements. Sorry, hope you don't mind. I'm gonna plug in my phone. When I record, my phone just starts going all crazy and just drains battery. Like, I plugged it in, it was at 65. So, yeah. So, but with the Minutemen, and they're all about helping others. And personally, for me, if you have a good whatever, that leaves a marking impact. The NCR is the worst faction. To me, I personally believe that aside from Caesar's Legion, the NCR is the worst faction. Well, okay, maybe Mr. House. But NCR is the worst faction of Fallout New Vegas, because they don't leave a good impression on the settlers. Orion Moreno constantly says, if you're on land that they want, they will take it no matter what. And that's something you can't do, because a lot of people aren't happy with it. Now, this is from a morality standpoint at this point, because that's, to me, because there is a lot of more morally good things in the world, or whatever. Like this upcoming election, a lot of people didn't want Trump because of the shit he did. I think, I'm not sure, again, don't know much about politics, and I'm very fucking tired. So, whenever I get tired, I start blabbling on, so that's why this video is 24 minutes long. So, I need to specify that. I should have specified that at the beginning of the video. So, which I can make right after. So it is 9:45. Awesome. So, when it comes to yeah, with the Minutemen, they're all about helping others and protecting others helping at a minute's notice or whatever. Or protect people at a minute's notice. I don't fucking know. I'm tired. So, I feel like with this, yeah. And if you blow up the Institute, you have to issue the evacuation notice, otherwise Preston gets mad. I have no idea why I said "and" if I didn't even make my first statement, but you guys get the point. Hope you guys aren't bothered by this. I'll make a video before this video starts talking about the fact I'm tired. I get blabbly, so you have to excuse me. But so if you don't issue the evacuation notice, Preston gets angry or disappointed, depending on how you want to look at it. To me, I personally says he's angry because I don't like people confronting me in aggressive tones, so he's angry. Hence why I don't like signing with the Institute a whole lot, because people like Piper and Nick get mad at you or disappointed, and I don't like that. And another reason I don't like the Brotherhood of Steel is because I don't like authority figures, but I'll talk about that in the next episode, or after I'm done making this video. I want to try and get all 4 of the endings, or all 4 of the terrible faction things out the way, so, yeah. So, personally, I do like the Minutemen in a sense of, like, it's morally good to have. Because like I always say, you need to have a morally good faction because it leaves a bigger impact, and that's what people want more of. Yes, the general may die and the Minutemen will come crumbling down, but if the general does her job right, or his job right, again, female, if the general does her job right, then they may not need they may want the Minutemen more, but at least they'll leave a long impact enough to be able to sustain themselves without the help of the Minutemen, which is entirely possible. Which can happen. So, but that's not to say that they are the best faction. They're not the best faction of Fallout 4. They are a good faction, but I'll have to title this "The Negative Things About the Minutemen" plus the good things, because if I say they're the worst faction, then basically just contradicting myself a sentence ago. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm sorry I've been talking about absolute nonsense. I am absolutely tired, and when I get tired, I always say that whenever I'm tired, I'm an asshole. I think if I'm tired, I'm an asshole and I'm sleepy, and I get talkative, which kind of makes me an asshole because I just want to blur shit out, and I just want to say blah 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 blah, and whatever happens. So yeah, with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, whatever, because there's no topic for this because I already talked about it. Or if you guys think there's something I missed about this video, whether it's positive or negative, I don't blame you, because whenever I'm tired, I don't think straight. I'm an asshole, and then I get talkative. So, yeah, if there's something I missed, whether positive or negative, let me know in the comment section down below. I will get a Brotherhood of Steel out, well, once I'm done talking. The next video I'm going to make is why the Brotherhood of Steel is terrible, is the worst faction. So, with that being said, and then subscribe if you're new to my channel. Hit the bell notification, or hit the bell for notifications, because I don't have a schedule. Even though I've been uploading daily videos, well, with the exception of Thursday, and upcoming Wednesday. So maybe once I have my Why the Railroad is Terrible, that's the end of my schedule. So by the time you're watching, if you're watching this and you guys see the Railroad video uploaded, which I think go up, okay, I have, Alright, so it's Tuesday today, so that means I should have a video up today. So go check that out. It's after my gaming collection. So that'd be Tuesday. Wednesday would be this. Thursday would be the Brotherhood of Steel. Friday would be the Institute, and then Saturday would be the Railroad. So yeah, starting Saturday, I'm gonna have to break off from these sort of videos and go to gaming or whatever. But knowing me, I always find a way to make videos. So if you somehow see me in a different background, just know I'm in Washington. It's fine. I'm not kidnapped or I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, I really love making YouTube videos and stuff like this. So yeah. Anyways, like, subscribe, comment, all of that. I have been Loser Maniac. Peace.